Daimeon, and this week on the All Things Sport Top 5, we talk about the top 5 things you need to know about this year's MLB baseball season. A lot going on in Major League Baseball, man, and it kind of flies under the radar with the NBA playoffs going on, the NHL playoffs going on, but a lot of big time moves being made in the major leagues right now. Pitchers are having outstanding performances. Teams coming out of nowhere. So what better way to break down the action in the season thus far than the All Things Sport Top 5?
Exactly. Baseball doesn't get the love that it deserves anymore in this great US of A. But we're going to touch on baseball today because I grew up as a huge baseball fan.
I blame Bush.
No, I blame Obama. Yeah, I blame Obama.
Not the first Bush, though. I like the first Bush. I blame George W. Bush.
Well, George W. Bush, little known fact, George W. Bush, the Bush family, they had ownership stake in the Texas Rangers.
Ain't been right since. And they just got into a brawl.
I don't think that wasn't a brawl. That was Bautista. That was Jose Bautista getting his jaw rearranged by the second baseman for the Texas Rangers. That's what happens when you're not ready.
And he made no bones about it, man. No apologies when he was talking to the media. None of that. Just, he ran up on me, so I swung on him.
Listen, don't go into a fist fight talking. If you're going to fight, you're going to fight. It was a beautiful combination, if I must say. Actually, it wasn't even a combination. It was a one-hitter quitter.
You got to be ready. If you walk up on somebody, be prepared to fight. And don't, just because you get your jaw jacked and you look bad, don't start trying to denounce the fight in the media. And when the reporters are asking you questions, own up to the tail whooping that you got. Go in the kitchen, get you a glass of water, and sit down somewhere.
Yeah, Bautista really tried to play that down, really tried to throw as much shade as possible on that beautiful landed right cross as he could.
Mayweather like.
But I mean, if you've been missing, if you've been away from the game of baseball this season, this is just one of the things that you've missed. So welcome back, baseball fans.
The All Things Sport Top 5. Number 5. I'll lead us off this week. Number 5 on my list, the San Francisco Giants. You gotta pay attention to the San Francisco Giants on these even years. This, ladies and gentlemen, is 2016, and the San Francisco Giants proving to form are first right now in the NL West at 33-21. We could be looking at another installment in that Giant dynasty. 3 World Series in the last 5 years and counting.
Pretty impressive stuff for the San Francisco Giants. You are precisely correct. Seems like on even years here in this last decade, the Giants, they show up, they win baseball games, and they ultimately win World Series. So that's a great way to start off our top 5 for this episode of the All Things Sport Podcast. Let me give you guys my top 5. Number 5 for me is the New York Yankees of the American League East. Their fans, their whole organization, they're pretty much delusional. The only pitcher that I can name for the Yankees is CC Sabathia, and he is a B- to C+ pitcher at this stage in his career. Pitching wins games, pitching wins World Series. El Duque is not coming through that door. Mariano Rivera is not coming through that door.
Why is the first picture you name El Duque, man?
I like El Duque's name. I like his delivery. The juiced up Roger Clemens is not coming through that door. Yankees fans, stop being delusional. You're not going to win the World Series. A-Rod, it's a great story. A-Rod is still playing pretty good in his 40s.
Playing well.
You're off the juice. Jeter is not coming through that door. Stop being delusional. Go in the kitchen, pour you a glass of lemon-infused water, and have a seat.
Number 4. I'm looking no further than my squad, the Boston Red Sox, man. What a season they are having. First right now in the AL East. Matter of fact, they will be first.
Temporarily.
Here we go. I told you many shows ago that the Baltimore Orioles were first in the AL East then. Right now, as we speak, their 3 back.
Actually, Baltimore just beat Boston 13-9 tonight.
Okay.
So we'll take this. We'll go ahead and take this series from Boston, and we'll be tied by the weekend's end. Actually, we may be leading the division by the end of the weekend. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there, but I'll let you do your number 4.
Yeah, congratulations to the Orioles.
Barely. I am legally black. Barely.
But nonetheless, the Boston Red Sox having a heck of a season. And speaking of heck of a season, the old man, 40-year-old David Ortiz, on his way out the front door in his last season in Major League Baseball, having a great season, batting .335 right now. 14 homers and 47 ribbies. Again, David Ortiz is 40 years old.
That's crazy.
That's unbelievable. Then you got Jackie Bradley Jr., Gamecock alum down here in Columbia, South Carolina, University of South Carolina, having a heck of a season. He's batting .331 with 37 ribbies. And also his firstborn child on the way. He's taking a leave of absence right now to take care of that personal business. So congratulations to Jackie Bradley Jr. Jackie Bradley Jr., who also had a 29-game hit streak this season. So the Boston Red Sox making a lot of noise right now. Hate to say I told you so, Daimeon, but this is our division. This is our American League. And as Big Papi so eloquently put,
this is our city. My number 4 on our top 5 for this episode of the All Things Sport podcast. I'm not going to go with the Baltimore Orioles. That would be my obvious choice. I'm going to go with the New York Mets. Now, the New York Mets had a great season last year. They made it all the way to the World Series. Now, the Mets, man, they're gonna disappoint their fans so bad this year, man. I just see it coming. Matt Harvey is not what he was last year. Still trying to recover from that Tommy John surgery. You know, he had a pretty good start in his last start, pitched 7 strong innings. I think he got the win against the Chicago White Sox. Noah Syndergaard, Thor, he's a beast. You know, but Citi Field is so huge, man. You can't hit in Citi Field. You know what I'm saying? Mike Piazza is not walking through that building. Dwight Gooden is not walking through that building, man.
Darryl Strawberry, nor his nose.
Yeah, Darryl Strawberry and his powder sniffing nose is not walking through that building.
The man has one of the biggest noses I've ever seen in sports.
I'm sorry, if you combine Darryl Strawberry's nose with the nose sweat of LA Clippers coach GM Doc Rivers, man, there would be no more. Oh my God, I'm not even going to get into it. Adam Gold.
We should do a top 5 noses in sports, man. It has been some epic noses.
Listen, Pierre, Adam Gold from the Adam and Joe show right here in, Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina on 99.9 The Fan. He's a diehard Mets fan. Now, I know he knows that Matt Harvey is borderline fat right now. And, the Mets they have some work to do, man. So, AG, this goes out to you. My number 4 on the top 5 is the New York Mets, and they're also delusional fan base.
Daimeon, you are having a well of a top 5 right now. But more importantly, let's discuss more about having this top 5 noses in all of sports, man. You know who's going to be my number 1.
Well, no, don't give it away. We're going to do that on next week's podcast, man. But we already know that.
Think of the possibilities of who you can put.
Think of the possibilities. You got Steffi Graf. Her nose is real. You got so many, man, the possibilities are endless.
Jim Valvano, God rest his soul. Number 3. It's the year of the comeback. It's the year of the underdog. Teams that you wouldn't expect to be good at this point in the season are actually playing really good baseball. Boston Red Sox, for an example. They finished the season last year 6 games under 500 right now, leading the AL East. The Baltimore Orioles finished the season at 500 last year. Right now, they're second in the AL East. Great record this year. Kansas City, who has been playing well as of late, but Kansas City not known as a traditional power, doing their thing as of late as usual. Seattle Robinson Cano and company, not the darlings of MLB last year. They're having a great season. They're in front.
Yeah, and Cano's having a bounce back season.
The Chicago White Sox, everybody in Chicago. I mean, Chicago is the center of the baseball world right now. Who would have thought that we would be saying that at this point in the season? Who would have thought that we would ever be saying that again? It's unbelievable. At one point, both teams had the best records in baseball. Not the case right now. And again, it's still early. A lot of baseball left to be played, but Chicago is really holding their own as a city right now as far as baseball goes. Lord knows they need to pick me up after basketball season. Daimeon's favorite player of all time, Derrick Rose, he just continues to amaze me every year. Injuries have derailed his career right now, but he can get back on track. He just has to get healthy, man.
Again, this is what I always say about anyone who plays the point guard position in the NBA. If Ish Smith can play point guard in the NBA, then anybody can play point guard in the NBA. But I digress.
Ish Smith was killing all year long, though.
Whatever.
He made the 76ers respectable. Though they had the worst record in the league. They beat the Lakers, so they got to be some kind of good.
Man, can I get into my number 3 reason, please? I digression.
I miss you, Kobe.
Kobe, come on.
Come back, man. Kobe? Just half a season, man. Just come back for the first
We're in the top 5 about baseball. You found a way to bring Kobe into this, man? It's over for the Mamba. The Mamba's head has been chopped off. You know what happened when you chop the head of a snake off? The body dies. Number 3 in my top. Yes. Number 3 in my top 5. It's got to be Dougie Glanville. If you don't know who Dougie Glanville is, please watch Baseball Tonight. He's the only reason why I watch Baseball Tonight. Doug Glanville has the best goatee in all of television. He speaks so eloquently. The UPenn graduate speaks so eloquently. He can be seen and he can be heard on the ESPN network. I love Doug Glanville, man. He's a former player, played for the Philadelphia Phillies for many seasons in the major leagues, and he's parlayed that into a analyst for ESPN, man. Doug Glanville is very insightful, very knowledgeable about the game. And if you want to know anything about any player in the game, you can go to Tim Kirchin. Yeah, you can go to Buster Only. But I want to go to my peoples. I want to go to Doug Glanville. Doug Glanville is my guy, man. And Doug Glanville is not too big to do local to do local radio. Doug Glanville comes on local radio on 99.9 around here in Durham, North Carolina. He comes around here at least once a month and does radio, man. So I enjoy listening to Doug Glanville on the radio. I enjoy watching him on Baseball Tonight. So my number 3 in the top 5 this week is Dougie Glanville and his goatee.
Number 2. I went back and forth with my number 2 and number 1. I decided to put these guys in the number 2 slot because they did have so much success last season. It's the Chicago Cubs. 20 games over 500 right now. Best record in baseball. They started out the season as the odds-on favorite, so let Vegas tell it, as the odds-on favorite to win the World Series, and they are showing to be true to form. Again, 20 games over 500. First in the NL Central. Best record in baseball. They're doing it with great managing. And I mean, Joe Madden has done a masterful job on the north side of Chicago. Great pitching staff led by Jake Arrieta. And then the bats for Chicago are unbelievable. So got to tip your hats to those guys. It's so good to have the Chicago Cubs good again. It's great for baseball. Gotta love those North Siders. Chicago Cubs, number 2 this week on my All Things Sport top 5.
Pierre, Chicago Cubs, man, what a story. And like you said, it's good to see the Cubs good. I mean, they're actually having a great season, man. Like, kudos to Theo Epstein, man, and everybody in that Chicago Cubs organization, man. They have brought, prosperity for the time being, back to the city of Chicago, man, because, as far as baseball is concerned, because the White Sox had won a World Series before the Cubs have, man, but it looks like the Cubs are on a mission. Now, the Giants are in the National League, so they may have something to say about that later on in the season, but I digress. Moving on to my number 2. in this week's edition of the Top 5 on the All Things Sport podcast. The San Diego Padres are in their familiar position of being dead effing